Hello, and welcome to Mailin It, the official podcast of the United States Postal Service. I'm Karla Kirby.
And I'm Jeff Marino. You know, working at the Postal Service for as long as Karla and I have, we sometimes forget just how many questions people have about how mail is delivered, how we track packages, and how our customers can get help when they need it. So for this episode, we're going to do something a little bit different.
That's right, Jeff. We're digging into our own mailbag to answer the questions that we at the Postal Service hear most often. Where do we start?
Well, let's start with some questions about how the mail moves through the network. The first question is, what actually happens to mail and packages behind the scenes? That's a pretty broad question, but we can break it down this way. Items move through a national, highly automated network. The packages are sorted at local facilities and regional hubs and destination plants. So think of regional hubs as major crossroads for mail. Mail and packages from around a region are sorted there and sent on to their next stop. Destination plants are often the last stop for mail and packages before they're actually sent to the local post offices to be delivered.
The next question is one that I hear a lot. If I mail something locally, why does my package get sent further away before coming back?
I can relate to that because we see all that information in the tracking.
Absolutely.
But the USPS uses a hub and spoke network for speed and efficiency. So packages may go to a regional processing hub even if it looks like it's actually out of the way. Believe it or not, this reduces handling steps and actually speeds up final delivery overall. So don't equate distance on a map to time in transit. Here's a good question about something that's becoming increasingly important to our customers. How does USPS track packages? And what if something looks wrong? Also known as, where's my package?
So mail and packages are scanned and tracked at key points on their journey, so the Postal Service knows where they are at any given time. Tracking information updates when packages are accepted, processed, out for delivery, or delivered. Delivered may mean left in a secure location, delivered to a parcel locker, accepted by a front desk or neighbor. If something seems wrong, wait 24 hours, check around your property, then submit a request via USPS customer service, which can be done in one of two ways. Option 1, email us at USPS.com, or option 2, by visiting USPS.com and clicking on support in the header section. Customers can also call 1-800-ASK-USPS. Postal Service customers are also really curious about how informed delivery works.
So informed delivery, if you haven't seen it yet, is a digital preview of your mail that you can get through an email or by signing into your USPS.com account. As of March 31st, 2025, there were nearly 73 million users. Now you, if you're not signed up, can sign up for free by creating a USPS.com account or signing into your current account. Go ahead and click on the Quick Tools at the top of our homepage, and you'll actually see a link to the informed delivery page. Now, the images themselves are taken during processing, not on delivery day. So expected arrival times and the actual arrival dates may differ due to transportation timing, due to weather issues, and the actual last mile delivery schedules. Now, remember that not all mail pieces are eligible for a preview. For example, we don't take images of packages, although we do provide links to the tracking information if they're available. We don't have any images of oversized or oddly shaped mail pieces or anything else that does not go through our automated sorting systems. And there are some mail pieces, such as catalogs and magazines, that aren't imaged by our automated equipment and will not appear in your informed delivery email or your dashboard. However, if a scan is detected on these types of mail pieces, you will see a message stating there is one or more mail pieces which we do not currently have an image that is included in today's mail. So you'll know something's coming. So Karla, what happens to your mail when you move or you go on vacation or when something's addressed just a little bit wrong? How does USPS handle those situations?
So for mail forwarding, it does require a change of address request. Forwarding is only a temporary solution. It is not permanent. Hold mail lets customers pause delivery during vacations or other intermittent periods. Incorrectly addressed mail may be returned to the sender, be forwarded if the correct address info can be found. Regardless, it will take longer for the mail to reach its destination. People can complete a change of address by going into their local post office or by going to USPS.com. If you go to the website, click on Receive at the top of the homepage to get information on how to submit a change of address request. Other questions that we get a lot are from people worried about mail getting to their home or business. For example, what can I do to make sure my mail is delivered?
Well, for starters, keep the path to your mailbox clear and safe for your carrier. You know, in the winter months, mailboxes can get buried in snow or they're at the end of an icy path, and that can cause problems for mail carriers. One of the other things you can do to make sure mail gets to your home is to secure or restrain dogs during delivery hours. They can be friendly, but our carriers don't know that, and they want to be safe. You can also ensure the mailbox placement meets USPS guidelines. For example, standalone mailboxes need to be placed at a certain height and a certain distance from the street. Mailboxes need to be clearly visible, and mailbox doors should open and close easily. Our next question is a follow-up. It relates to what can happen if a mail carrier encounters any one of the situations we just talked about. So in other words, can my carrier refuse to deliver mail?
Well, Jeff, the short answer is yes. Delivery can be suspended for one of three reasons: dog safety concerns, blocked or unsafe access, or hazardous conditions. In these instances, USPS notifies affected residents when the delivery is stopped. Service can resume once conditions are corrected. Speaking of deliveries, Jeff, we also getting a lot of questions about the new Postal Service vehicles, as in, when will I see them on the road?
Well, if you haven't seen them by now, they are rolling out region by region. In fact, the U.S. plans to roll out 106,000 new vehicles by 2028. Now, this includes 45,000 battery electric next-generation delivery vehicles and 21,000 commercial off-the-shelf battery electric vehicles. And so far, there's more than 35,000 new vehicles already on the road. Now, the benefits to this include improved safety for our carriers, better cargo capacity to carry all these packages, and electric and low-emission options vehicles. So it's better for the environment. Besides the next-generation delivery vehicles, or NGDVs, USPS is also deploying 3 other vehicles: the Metris, the ProMaster, and the E-Transit. Okay, we've talked about how mail moves through our network and how it gets to your mailbox. So let's move on to other issues that generate a lot of questions. In other words, how does USPS determine the cost of a shipment?
Well, pricing depends on size and weight, distance, speed of service, and domestic versus international delivery. Different USPS products balance cost, speed, and features. For example, lower cost, ground advantage; faster delivery, priority mail; speed and reliability, priority mail express. And then we have flat rate boxes. With those, if it fits, it ships. However, it must weigh less than 70 pounds. For example, priority mail rates using USPS flat rate boxes. For a small flat rate box, it's $12.65. For a medium flat rate box, it's $22.95. And then a large flat rate box is $31.50. So related to that, another question we get a lot is, how much does it cost to ship from point A to point B?
So as you mentioned, Karla, a lot of the pricing depends on size and weight of the package, how far it's going, how fast you need it there. But the easy way is to use the USPS online shipping calculator, and that's available on our website, USPS.com, or you can get there directly, USPS.com/calculator. On the retail postage price calculator page, you can enter information about what you're mailing, and you can get those cost estimates. It shows real-time options based on the package details, the destination, and your desired delivery speed. Sometimes point A and point B aren't even in the same country, and so that leads to the follow-up question: how much does it cost if you want to send something international?
So similar to costs that are domestic, it does vary by destination, weight, and dimensions, as well as customs requirements. Some services include tracking and insurance. International prices can be checked online before mailing. At the top of the price calculator webpage, there's an option for international mailing rates. Another common set of questions that we get here is about scammers pretending to be from the Postal Service. People want to know, are USPS text messages legitimate?
Well, if you're a longtime listener to the podcast, we've had inspection service representatives on a number of times to talk about scams. And I will say again, the USPS does not send unsolicited texts asking for payments. So if you get these, some of the red flags to look out for are unexpected package notices. In other words, they send you a message about a package that you're not expecting, that you didn't order. Or they could be asking you for personal information with links to provide that. Just don't click it. Report scams to USPS. You can go directly to uspis.gov/report. That's our postal inspection service. But when in doubt, check your tracking directly on your USPS.com account. Another thing people worry about is mail theft. We get asked, what should I do if my mail or package was stolen?
First, you want to make sure the mail or package is actually missing. It could be left in a secure spot. It could have been accepted by someone else at your address or by a neighbor. If theft is suspected, report it to the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. File a report online with as much detail as possible at mailtheft.uspis.gov. To reduce that risk going forward, use hold mail when you're away. Consider informed delivery for visibility. Pick up mail promptly. And also use USPS smart parcel lockers. People should realize that mail theft is a federal crime. If identity theft is involved, act quickly to protect your personal information. So we'll wrap up this conversation with a catch-all question. Where can listeners get help quickly and easily for their Postal Service-related questions?
Well, there's a lot of options here, Karla. One, you can start online by going to the help section of our website. There you can find tools such as service requests, tracking help, you can find a post office, or there's contact information directly to our customer care centers. You can email USPIS customer service. You can call 1-800-ASK-USPS. There's also a series of how-to videos on our YouTube channel. You can search YouTube for the USPS official channel and find the how-to playlist. There you'll find topics including forwarding mail, sending packages, and scheduling pickups. Of course, customers can also contact their local post office. Another common way to reach us is via our official USPS social media. You can find us on Facebook at USPS, on X at USPS, also on X at USPS Help, or on Instagram at US Postal Service.
Well, it's time for another edition of Did You Know? When we share interesting facts about the Postal Service. I'll take this one, Jeff.
All right by me.
We usually talk about Postal Service history here, but today I want to highlight a lesser-known program we offer that helps keep people with visual impairments connected via U.S. mail.
I think I've heard of that. They call it Free Matter for the Blind, right?
That's right, Jeff. And did you know the Free Matter for the Blind program makes it easier for eligible Postal Service customers to mail things like Braille, large print documents, audio recordings, even talking book players at no cost. Libraries, and organizations that serve blind or visually impaired customers can also send these materials back and forth through the program. For many customers, this isn't a nice to have. It's how they get access to books, educational materials, and essential information. And even though there's no postage, this mail is still handled like first-class mail when it comes to processing and delivering.
So it moves through the system with priority.
Exactly. The program dates back to 1897 and is authorized and funded by Congress, with USPS reimbursed for their cost. To use the service, eligible customers mark the package "Free Matter for the Blind or Handicapped," where the stamp would normally go, and make sure the contents qualify.
Karla, how can a person show that they're eligible to participate in the program?
Good question, Jeff. To use Free Matter for the Blind, customers must be certified as unable to read standard print, either through a medical or library professional, participation in the Library of Congress program, or in some cases, verification by a local postmaster. Well, hopefully we covered a lot of questions that listeners have about the Postal Service.
I know we covered an awful lot of ground in a very short amount of time. So, listener, you're welcome to go back, rewind this episode, listen to it again, or again, go to our website. You'll find a whole list of places you can get in contact with us. And that's all for this episode of Mailin It. Don't forget to subscribe to Mailin It wherever you get your podcasts to make sure you don't miss the next episode. And of course, follow along on Instagram at US Postal Service, X at USPS, Facebook, and youtube.com/@USPS.